Plays
My friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. I, as always, am Dr. Love, and of course, my co-host, the Mayor of Downriver, Sauce Brunson.
Listen, once again, I'm just a guy who works here, okay? I just work here.
And we got a show here, and obviously, you see, we've got some friends with us today, which is always nice right here. And first and foremost, let's introduce our friends here. We have Rio right down here in the pink, rocking the glasses. Over past Sauce, we got Big O there, and then down here, you can't see him. You can't see him, but that's we got Del.
No.
You can't see me.
Oh, but we do have Del here as well. So, and you know what? We have a good show here for you. Obviously, with a lot of stuff going on this year, as we've been talking about with wrestling, but we wanted to kind of take at this point being the last day of the month, but better late than never. We did want to set this up for Black History Month and having a nice special, basically talking about, in a sense, with black wrestlers and in the whole pro wrestling world. So, and that's kind of what we wanted to talk about. Everything else, that's not going anywhere. But this right here, this matters. So, and so Sauce, we got a good group here, I think, right here.
Hey, shout out to Doc for wearing the black shirt too. I see that.
What could I say? Oh my gosh. But so yeah, we have a nice little kind of show here, basically kind of chit chatting, talking, again, just some Michigan boys talking about wrestling. But we kind of just wanted to I kind of gave some people, at least I gave Sauce a little bit of homework, the idea of some things, structure, but we always like to go off the rails too, so that's always fine. But
listen, I just follow what you do.
Oh man, he's too modest. You're too modest. But so I kind of wanted, I guess, I kind of wanted to start off. We can always jump around at this point, but I kind of want to ask all you guys, and I'm gonna since you're right there, Rio, and you love the shirt, love the glasses, you're looking good tonight.
Yeah.
Lots of yeahs, by the way. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to do was, throughout all the years in pro wrestling, and we've all watched basically our own fair share of wrestling, in different time frames, different companies. So that's why I kind of like this group we have. I kind of wanted to have I wanted 5 different wrestlers. You don't need to name them all now. We'll just all jump around that in different, to you, did the accomplishments that you thought were in your eyes after watching wrestling were something that was memorable, for good, for odd, for whatever else reason. But yeah, I mean, So if you have to name one right off the bat, and so okay, there you go, Sauce. Just so I'm pointing.
I do things while he's talking, so
That's okay. That's good. So who would you say for you would be one of those wrestlers or
No, before I answer that question, are we talking just? Are we going off just to find just throwing wrestlers out there that would just mean something for me, or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's gonna be we're gonna have overlap. We're probably gonna have overlap with certain people. But yeah, it doesn't have to. Yeah, exactly. Like if there's something that you watched something when you were younger and that really resonated with you, or just in general, or something. Yeah, that's all.
Let me answer that question. Now, let me mind you something. I was born in 1986, so therefore, in the fourth grade, it was probably about 1996, 1997. Do you know what's going on at that time in 1996 and 1997? Let me talk to you real quick. The greatest wrestler who has ever put on a pair of boots and some assless chaps. His name is Shawn Michaels. Michael Shawn Hickenbottom III, baby. Let me tell y'all something, man. That man has changed my life. He was so, and I think that's even with this shirt I have on, it's not showing off unless you can back it up. I think for me personally, it was the charisma of, like, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but it's the charisma of, like, that just carried his attitude, man. I wasn't able to really appreciate his style until I got older, man. But just as a young whippersnapper, just watching him come out to the ring, telling my teachers to suck it and everything. I mean, that right there, just that kid against authority people, and then watching him be against authority, it brought me into it. It really did. That whole D-Generation X thing. I watched WCW too, one of the big NWO guy, man, but it was something about Shawn Michaels that just really caught me. It really was, man. Like, that was my thing, man. Like, that's my guy.
I absolutely, and one thing about him is he was always he was that guy. He was the showstopper. He deserved it, Mr. WrestleMania. And this is even before he came back from his injury, which that was devastating. When he lost the belt to Stone Cold Steve Austin, with the whole Mike Tyson celebrity, as we talked about before on our Celebrity Squared Circle episode, to get that money, but he couldn't wrestle. I mean, because his back was so shot, and watching him take some of those bumps, you knew he was done.
Mm-hmm.
But his miraculous comeback, though, in 2002, it was
amazing.
Still to say one of my favorite matches ever. Too was that unsanctioned street fight he had against Triple H at SummerSlam.
Triple H, okay.
Yeah, it was the unsanctioned match because it was one of those things where it's like, could he go? If he can, we're gonna just say this isn't a real match, so it doesn't count. But yeah, so there you go, man. Okay, I got you. So
yeah, for me, that's the guy. Like that's my guy right there. Like, hands down, from the beginning to the end. Like that is. I mean, I walked around with a 6'1" Shawn Michaels everywhere that I went. Those little cutouts that you get from the mall or something, the silhouette of the wrestler. Yeah, I walked around with that. Do you know what it's like walking around with the cardboard Shawn Michaels? I am not lying to these people.
I lived with that man for 3 years. He is not like that man. Yeah, that man is not. Yeah,
you're like, I like it. He's like, he is not lying. Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's basically how we're going to kind of run this here. Because again, nothing wrong with Shawn Michaels. Of course, he was one of the best champions of all time, entertainers. But let's just kind of skew it to more to the black wrestlers or African American wrestlers, just for now. I mean, if you have other stuff too, that's okay. Trust me, we're not going to be like,
that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of it, right?
Oh yeah, but hey, literally, we like talk about wrestling. We can talk it for hours, so it's all good. So, but since you gave us, that's fine with our first. Since I'm looking all the way over there, I see Big O. Now, don't look sad, Big O. I know you don't have your title anymore. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, it's right here, by the way. Yeah, see, right here. I'm sorry. Right. Oh, is that yours? Okay, no, it's mine. Sorry. Oh, who's booing me? Oh, Sauce. Okay, it's okay. You get your chance. Sunday at Revolution. Sunday at Revolution. You guys see how you're
just heads up at my crib live at 8 p.m. Doors open at 6.
There you go. Bring snacks. Bring food. There'll be food. But anyway, so Big O, same question to you in wrestling. What wrestler or group or moment really resonated you with, within like the African American and the black wrestlers throughout that time? Nope. Oh, I think we might. I think we might have lost. Here.
Wait,
hold on.
Oh, we was just listening.
We were just listening to Big O, so we're gonna check. Oh, he's still talking here. So there he.
I'll say you want to.
So we're just gonna go over. We're gonna go down to Dell here since he's right next to me.
So once Big O gets his audio back together.
So same question, Dell. So who would you say?
So I've been watching wrestling for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
a very, very long time, and I gotta say, and this is for me, Harlem Heat, man, they transcended a lot of things. I mean, from winning tag titles to they just had swag, they had the look, they had the attitude, they had Sherry with them. I mean, they had everything. You couldn't go wrong if you wasn't rooting for Harlem Heat, whether they were bad, whether they were good. Those guys, for me, showed you that you could do anything. Even when Booker T went out on his own to accomplish the things that he did, and he transcended a lot and opened up a lot of doors, as well as other wrestlers, and I have some in mind too, and I'm gonna go back to that later. But Harlem Heat, man, those guys, they had it all. They had it all. They wasn't afraid to go out there and just be who they were.
Oh, absolutely. They had great theme music too. Come on, it's
best theme music, one of the best theme music of all time.
It's interesting too because like I've been watching with my brother for a long time, and WCW was a big thing. So obviously we watched a lot of Harlem Heat, and doing some research in regard to this, which most stuff we kind of knew was Harlem Heat, and we're not even going to talk more about the 2000s and how that all the Russo era WCW. Like, we're not going to really talk about all that. But did you know the original gimmick though for Harlem Heat was for one house show? They had them come out, and I can't even make this up. But first off, they came out with Colonel Robert Parker, who, by the way, had the Colonel gimmick.
Right.
And they dressed up in orange jumpsuits and had chains around their necks. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was they changed that very quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah, very, very quickly they did. And I'm just sitting here going, who was the tone deaf?
That's wild.
You got to think NWA. When you start going back a little bit, and that's telling our age a little bit. When you start going back a little bit, and you see that, you like absolutely not. So that they changed that within after that, you didn't see that anymore. You see Harlem Heat.
Well, and that's another interesting point you make. Like, look at all the caricatures of basically all ethnicities that were so popular, and we still talk about to this day. I mean, look at how iconic certain people like what Papa Shango, then he goes to the Godfather, Slick Rick, you got Kamala, it's like people still remember him, but then you're like, ooh, maybe maybe I don't like this stuff. But you could say the same thing about Kai and Tai. You could say like that was not really, but it was an easy sell. Indeed. Oh, gosh. Oh my gosh, please.
Oh, real quick, Big O, can we hear you?
Oh, yep.
Try to say something.
You hear me? I checked.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, we hear you now. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get back to you in a minute.
Sure? All right.
All right, we got you. We got Big O's back. But Dell with Harlem Heat, though, that is a great choice, and I've wrote him down on some of my notes here at least 2 or 3 times at certain different things. So trust me, I'm with you on that. So for sure,
I have them too. Very much.
Yeah. See. Oh yeah. Trust me. There's one thing you're gonna have overlap is at least with.
Yeah, we have to.
So Big O, since we got you back, we're gonna same kind of the question we already talked about. So who would you say, and like great accomplishment, influence you, such like that?
Okay, y'all can hear me, right?
Hey,
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Look, if y'all want to help a brother out to get a new computer, my Cash App is no, I'm just kidding. But no, for me, look, yeah, I was born in '94, so my time frame for really getting into wrestling was like 2001 to like 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2001, there was only one person. There's only one that was on the top. He was the people's champ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
One and only. You know, this is where I got this from.
Oh, there
There's
we go.
only
Very
one.
nice. Very nice.
The great one himself, The Rock. That's it. That's my guy.
Bro, you
man,
born in 1994?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got 10 years apart.
Wow, I did not know that.
Revelation.
I was 83. He was 94.
That's crazy.
I'm 84 as well. I 84, so.
But yeah, like he's the reason why I got into wrestling. Like, look, you guys, my brother Sauce here. He'll tell you all the stories of me giving the rock bottom to my stuffed Elmo. You know, I was giving the people's elbow to it. I would do the moves as I was watching SmackDown at the same time.
He had like this 2 foot tall Elmo doll. He used to have Iron Man matches with in the living room.
No tickling there, huh?
Once the Rock got on, oh yeah, that people's elbow. He ran from one side of the living room to the other. Was putting in that work.
Hey, and check it out. So we got hardwood floors, right? So y'all remember that sliding people's elbow? I did that.
Yeah. Gosh, I'll never forget that. When he did that for the first time, I'm pretty sure he didn't think it would work. I don't know what, like in my head, like he probably tried it out and it was like, oh God, if I like hit the wrong way on that canvas, I'm gonna it's gonna look so bad.
He actually talked about that. It was a 100%. Yeah, he actually spoke on that. It was a 100% accident. He had no intention of doing that, but he was talking about the shoes that he had on were so slippery. So he just went with it. It had no intention at all.
Oh my God!
It's one of the firest things that fire can never produce.
That is
first you gotta be to glide.
Listen, first the DDT and then the slide, then the glide in people's elbow. Just happy accidents.
I like that. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
But The Rock. Obviously, I mean, there's what can you not say about The Rock? But it's just the fact that The Rock has such a rich history of his own family, and this is just a nice segue to talk in a sense about with The Rock, and then his dad Rocky Johnson, and then of course High Chief Peter Maivia. But what's interesting about with Rocky Johnson is he had such a career wrestling with Tony Atlas. They were together for a while, and the fact that you go all the way back to Bobo Brazil was the mentor of Rocky Johnson. So, Bobo Brazil was one of the first ever world champs that was never recognized. So in a sense, he won the world title in NWA in '63 against Buddy Rogers, but they refused to recognize the championship.
Yeah, Bobo was great. I watched a couple matches with him.
Yeah. And it's interesting that he wins the NWA title, which again, NWA, that's your big guy. I mean, that was your big company. They refuse to give him to recognize it. And it takes till all the way to 2002 when Ron friggin' Killings wins the NWA title in TNA Impact Wrestling, when they finally would recognize him as the first black champion in NWA. Of course, we know about Ron Simmons and The Rock and stuff, but NWA, that still bothers me a little bit. It's like, come on, really?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he mentored Rocky Johnson, and then you have The Rock comes in, it's just such a rich history in wrestlers, especially when you have all that with the family history, with The Rock, and then of course the Ortons and everything, and the Hennings, Kurt Hennings and everything.
The Harts.
the Hearts. I mean, so yeah, but there's not much. I mean, with The Rock, I mean, there's not much else to say at this point. His wrestling career is pretty much done. I mean, if he didn't wrestle at WrestleMania this year, I don't expect him to wrestle.
You know what I expect? The only thing I expect from The Rock is Hobbs and Shaw too. That's all I want.
Hobbs and Shaw too. I don't know. I don't know if we're getting the Hobbs and Shaw too. I think they're going to do fast. They're going to fast 1,000. They're going to wait to fast 10.
You don't think we'll get one more match with The Rock?
We'll get one more.
It's speculated at next year's WrestleMania. So
it just seems crazy to me. Like this was almost set up to do it for this show. I mean, obviously, with all the other extenuating circumstances with Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, you're telling me that in Hollywood that they delayed it. By the way, this Hollywood one was supposed to happen 2 years ago, but because of COVID, they doubled up on the Buccaneer, but then they flipped them. It's like perfectly set up. Head of the table, doing stuff. He's chipping away on social media and also on some of the talk shows. Yeah, so if he wasn't going to do this show, if he does next year, then fine, I guess. But I feel like this was his option to do it. So
who wants to see that in Philadelphia? Like, I don't want to see that.
Oh, you're right. It is in Philadelphia. I forgot it's there.
Who the fans gonna turn up the wrong way?
Oh yeah. Well, they're very bitter, Sauce. They're very bitter because they had 3 championships lost in the same year.
You go hear the return of Die Rocky Die.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Well, I listened to a podcast it was about a year ago, and I don't know how I stumbled across it, but the point of this is Roman Reigns was talking to, I forgot who it was. I guess he was really close to him, and they had pretty much close conversations. Actually, it was more than a year ago, and the host was talking about, like, it's gonna be, what do you think about The Raw? He was like, why isn't it this year? He was like, before we got this far, he was saying, Roman Reigns was saying, why would I have challenged him in Dallas when I could challenge him in his own backyard? Okay, now fast forward a little bit. Now, like, I'm watching a Young Rock show. You remember that little part, Acknowledge Me. Yeah. Like, he's been doing, like, they've been setting up, planting these little seeds for The Rock and Roman Reigns, and even building all of this up. Like, this whole, I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago about the entire family coming to it, have the acknowledgement ceremony, but then that turned into the trial of Sami Zayn. Like, I think all of this, even in regular, like, real interviews, The Rock was saying, I'm the head of the table. Like, I don't know what happened with that, but it was said that it was a very high possibility, and it's too late. We already know it now that The Rock was not going to wrestle at this year's WrestleMania. Like, I personally, I think I would have had to make that a priority. I don't know if it's a money thing, a schedule thing, or what, but I thought that's kind of odd. I'm with you on that.
Well, look at the one thing that made me mad was this. If he was filming a movie, and then in those movie contracts, he's forbidden to wrestle. Like, they are very clear about it. He's not. He went out there and said, "Oh well, I'm not really in shape for it." I'm like, "Bitch, you're like working out every single day on social media. What are you talking about? Every day you're like
literally fly.
So I'm gonna throw out a theory. I'm gonna throw out a theory for y'all. So could it be possible? They're saying he's not gonna show up. He shows up, costs Roman the title. That gives us a year to build, and then that sets up next year's WrestleMania.
I mean, that's what happened with The Miz, right? Cena and The Miz
on the show. Or instead of SummerSlam, whatever.
Or SummerSlam.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do
it. They can build it like that, like they did with him and Cena. Just a little niblet or nugget there, but that's what I'm saying. That might be a play. So, he's not gonna be here. He's not gonna be here. Well, it's right in your backyard. So let me just drop in, throw an elbow or a rock bottom, and boom. Okay, that sets it up. Roman gets mad.
Okay, see, I can buy that for $1 right there. I'll tell you that for sure.
I don't hate that. They have to cross paths. They have to cross paths. They have to.
Yeah.
Before this thing dies out, they absolutely have to cross paths.
Well, think of it this way too. Being in Hollywood, they're already going to sell the fact of like the red carpet, so they're going to have celebrities there. There was always celebrities at WrestleMania, but it's gonna be more ramped up because of the Hollywood aspect. See the Rock's here, and they're like, "What's up? All right, we see you. Hey, what's going on?" And I could see. I think that could work. That could work, but oh my gosh, could you imagine?
If he end up showing up here in Detroit, I don't know. I just might die and go to heaven that day. That'd be it. That'd be it.
Yeah, I love that. Now that would be good right there. Oh my gosh, but with all that being said, Big O, that's a good choice. That's a good first choice right there for another wrestler that right for sure is on that. So awesome, man. So now I'm gonna jump over to Sauce here. So Sauce. Basically. Right. So now you give me somebody, man. Somebody wrestler.
So my early memories of black wrestlers, because I grew up as a Hogan boy. So I went to I would say as far as my only really big memories as far as as far as black wrestlers I was attached to, does Sadio Vega count?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's part of the Nation of Domination, so yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, like in the 90s, like as far as obviously King Mabel was kind of cool, even though he's the bad guy. I messed with King Mabel. Ahmed Johnson. As a kid, I thought Ahmed Johnson was cool. I thought he was cool, but growing up, you find out he was a dickhead.
He's kind of like Sid Vicious. You look at him, you think he looks cool, then he's like terrible as a wrestler. I mean that's.
It is, but I would say Sadio Vega's probably the biggest. Like, I guess I would say Sadio Vega was kind of like the one I gravitated towards, especially when you had that feud going with Goldust for the Intercontinental belt. That was my jam right there. Because other than that, because when I watch wrestling, as a black kid, I was all about Hogan and then Bret Hart. And then of course, Tatanka was in there somewhere. But as far as that goes, like that was my main go-to. But yeah, I would say Sadio Vega. I would say it's like early memories.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously I don't remember none of the Junkyard Dog, that was happening, in the early ages.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And some of those other guys. But yeah, I'm gonna go Sadio Vega. Like as far as early memories, as far as we talk about early 90s, 91, 92, like 90, 91, 93, I think. As far as that goes, like I said, I just vividly remember in the living room watching Monday Night Raw. It was the main event, Goldust versus Sadio Vega, and I'm just glued to this TV, like me and my pops sitting there just watching it, just rooting for Sadio Vega. He gets the pin 1, 2, 3. We jump up and down. So one of the few times my dad hugged me, because my dad's from the old school, like he helped build the old school. So showing emotions and stuff was not his strong suit. But with Sadio Vega, when he won that belt, we jumped up and down and hugged. And then all four did not count. It was like some type of technicality. I think Goldust, whatever, were not. I think
so you're saying Goldust got a dusty finish. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So at that point, they like basically Sadio Vega won, but he didn't become the champion. And I was like, oh. Then my dad was like, all right, rest is over, go to bed. All right, time to go to bed. Then I just walked to my room, just like, damn.
Just get up, the TV off.
Sadio almost had the dub. But I would say that was definitely my early, as far as early wrestling memory. Like I said, obviously Junkyard, he was prevalent during those times. Mm-hmm. I mean, even in late 80s, early 90s, but not much memory. I can't live memory.
He had a good feud with Harley Race back in the day.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the Birdman, Coco Beware. You got
Coco Beware.
Oh, I remember Coco, the original Captain Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely. I remember there was some moments of Coco Beware, because then I think he had a couple small feuds with Honky Tonk Man for the IC belt for a minute. I vaguely remember that, but yeah, Sadio Vega was like the earliest black, I guess. Yeah, I would say Sadio Vega, probably the earliest memory, and he's nowhere near. Unfortunately, he's nowhere near on that thumbnail. That took me 2 hours to put together. But
you know who else was pretty cool that I thought was kind of underrated as a wrestler? Mr. Huge. He was actually a pretty good wrestler back in the day. And he had that finger and the hat, and he was cool, like a church dude coming to beat somebody down.
Right.
And that's a unique gimmick that kind of gets you over on that, and that's always fun. And when I was thinking about for like different wrestlers for me, and I had a few different ones on here, but just some of there's a lot of the what Sauce was saying. There's some old stuff when I was real young that I remembered, but the ones that really kind of resonated a little bit more with me, and there's a few on here, so we can all talk about other stuff too. Well, not just locked in on one. But this one's funny because as me and my brother were watching wrestling growing up, he's a year older than me. We would watch again. We watched the WWF, we watched WCW a lot, but then we also watched a lot of the original ECW, and before it became the hardcore, and then into all that basically. And I'm not gonna lie, the second I heard that Natural Born Killers and New Jack come out for these matches, basically, and then seeing a hardcore match for the first time, man, that sticks with you, I think. So I'm right now, I'm gonna have it at least for one of these. I have to say New Jack for sure. So
quick Coco Beware.
That guy was on a whole nother level.
We'll get to him in a sec. Quick fun fact: you mentioned Coco Beware because I remember I saw a fact about him last night. Monday Night Raw has been going on for forever now. He was part of the very, very, very first match of Monday Night Raw.
Yep. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I think I vaguely remember about the head with the bird being there. So yeah, 30 years.
He died in a house fire. But as far as
he hit us with
Raw, as far as the Raw, but as far as Monday Night Raw,
he was great to get his Morris Day on over there.
But
I'm over here walking. He died in the house fire.
Yep. Hey, I say, this Black History Month, Bird History Month is 2 months from now. What's that? Oh yeah. So he lost his first match against Yokozuna. Of course, he got of course he was not winning that.
He got squashed,
literally. But yeah, that's a fun fact. Yeah, he was basically the first match on the card.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cool little factoids that I'll get into because trust me, randomly they just kind of spew out sometimes. Mm-hmm. But with New Jack though, I mean, literally that was the first time I ever watched anything that was resembling some kind of hardcore style wrestling. And then we're sitting there. I remember watching with him wrestling. Again, the very loose, the loose definition of wrestling is what New Jack was all about. He his music would play through his old matches, and he would just destroy whoever. Someone would come out as the heel, and they'd be jaw jacking on the mic, and then you just hear that theme song come on, and they're like, "Oh, he's done. He's done." He was.
Did you ever hear about how, as far as it started? Was it Smoky Mountain Wrestling? With the conversation he had with Jim Cornette. He's supposed to be a bad guy. He was like, what am I supposed to talk about? Cornette was like, I don't know. Just go out there and piss off some white people. He was like, yeah, shout out to OJ. Keep up the good work.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that really got him over, didn't it?
And if I remember correctly, he is banned. Well, he has passed away, so rest in peace. But he was banned, I believe, in the state of Georgia. He was he's banned, and that ban was an old ban.
The whole state.
Well, no, in the documentary, he was saying that he couldn't even. They used to just throw stuff at him. He was super hated.
Yeah. He'd come out with all the different weapons. I mean, you had the vacuum cleaner, you had the bowling ball, real bowling ball. He would throw at them, doing the whole the nut shot in the corner. I mean, and then of course he was with the gangsters. He had Mustafa, with him, and they would break up.
Wasn't D-Lo in that group for a minute too before he went to WWE?
Hot second.
Early on, yeah.
Hot second, like the original, like before like ECW started blowing up. But he jumped over there. Yep. And then like Mustafa, they would like, hey, are you gonna feud now? Yeah, let's feud. And then they would just feud for no reason. But yeah, New Jack was always just that guy that you would be entertained by. And I was like, all right, I'm about this. This is cool. You know, and then people in wrestling knew him. But it wasn't until the incident. We all know about the incident, the mass transit incident, where to this day it's still that kid's fault. I mean, that kid's dead now. They're both dead, so they're fighting in hell right now. Probably, I'm just saying, but
fight forever.
Oh gosh, I love it.
But I know if I say we passed. Saint looked up and got like, what did I do to deserve him coming down here?
That's his hell loop right there. That is his hell loop.
I feel like New Jack.
I say as soon as you walk through the gate,
I was exposed to New Jack earlier. My whole trajectory probably would have changed. It was probably a good reason I did not know who New Jack was.
Yeah,
when I was 10 or 11. This whole shit would be shut down. I would not be here today. I can promise you.
No, I'm just picturing. I'm just picturing a young Doc over there, a young Christian boy getting exposed to this crazy black dude high on cocaine, throwing chairs and bowling balls at people.
Absolutely.
Listen, New Jack was on a whole nother level.
He really was.
Mean, I watched it once and I was like, you know what? I'm done with. I can't. This guy, listen, no, he was on another level and you knew it. Like when I seen that, I was like, I don't know if I should be watching this or not, but
I think about the first New Jack thing I saw was a buddy of mine had he showed me the scaffold match. And he threw my man's off the thing. I was like, is that dude dead? He's like, no, I was like, how? I was like, in my mind, New Jack literally killed the guy on pay-per-view.
Oh, for sure. He would jump off the tallest thing in the audience and just jump, like just flop on him and he didn't care. He didn't care. Oh my God. Yeah, he was at least, I guarantee he was stoned all the time, high as shit. But that's what made it interesting. Because he would just come out, song would play. That's what happened. It was just so, is it a memorable something again etched in your memory, branded there? It was just those New Jack matches. But on a very funny note, that happened later, years later, when the WWE Network became a thing. I still, to this day, I do miss the network before it went to Peacock. I'm just saying, it was much more user friendly at that point. But it is better. It is better on Peacock than it was when it first, whatever. But that's the whole thing. Anyways,
it's palatable now.
So when the whole point was they had all the ECW pay-per-views. Now, me and Chris, my brother, we actually taped and still own the original tapes of the majority of all these pay-per-views and shows. And the best part was all these wrestlers had like great theme musics because, Paul Heyman didn't want to pay rights for anything because that was just Paul Heyman. So he didn't want to pay anybody. I still love him, but he just wasn't going to pay it. So the network gets them. Now, here's the problem. Most people theme musics, you're fine. You can dub it and they'll dub in a different song. Well, the problem was with New Jack, Natural Born Killers played throughout the whole thing. So they came up with a very unique situation where at the time, Joey Styles, the legendary commentator for ECW, was working for WWE. He was commentating for the ECW brand there. He re-recorded the commentary for every New Jack match on the network. Any match that had him with the music, he re-recorded the dialogue for it. So if you watch it on the network, it's literally a different music that plays, and then him just with basically the same commentary or whatever that he did during it. I mean, could you imagine just being told like, "Hey, we need you to do this because that kind of going to screw us up." But at least they will put the effort in and put them in there. They could have cut all New Jack's matches completely. So that's all I'm saying.
I know we're getting off track, but I thought to myself, which one of the first three out of these three, which one will get accepted to the Hall of Fame first? New Jack, Owen Hart, or Canada Man? And by Canada man, I mean the dude.
Yeah,
I say the dude. Well, I say for those who don't know, I'm talking about the dude who had the cross face.
So
Owen Hart probably.
Yeah, but only.
Go ahead.
Owen Hart, well, only if his like the family would want it because they've kept saying that they refused it. So it's not at that point they probably have asked, but they've refused it.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I was wondering like which of the three will get in there first.
Yeah, I'm not. Let's not looking hopeful for any of them. So that's for getting them. I mean, Owen Hart's been doing a lot of stuff in AEW. They had the tournament for the Owen Hart tournament and stuff like that.
It was also an honorary member of Nation Domination.
And that way, Sauce, you read my mind. You read my mind because that was actually my next segue into black groups or factions that were memorable or something, or just something you thought was fun. So that's actually you. It's like you read my mind, Sauce. That's like I'm pointing down here.
So normally, usually we have guests go on. Usually I go last, but can I go first this time on that one?
You're like, yes, you can.
Okay. So I mean, me personally, the faction that I care about the most. Don't get me wrong. We had all these great factions, black factions and whatnot, but you got to go with New Day. Mm-hmm. New Day is the GOAT of factions for me. And the reason why I say this, and this is going to get into probably some segue. This is going to segue into some homework that I did later on. But the reason why I like New Day is because of one man and one man only. Xavier Woods. He took a gimmick that was supposed to fail especially for babyface black wrestlers. New Day, 9 times out of 10, that doesn't work. Xavier Woods, with his creative mind, he turned a stereotypical, normally that's supposed to be trash for babyfaces, and turned it into one of the best things in the last 10 years. And to be fair, I said they're going to get, I was like, Kofi about to get future endeavor because of this. And Doc over here, he said, he was like, oh, they're going to be great now. This is the best thing.
I did.
And I was like, what are you talking about?
Don't believe me. Everyone.
I was like, they're going to be on Raw Monday, and they're going to be fired. They're going to be literally in church that following Sunday, wondering where we're wrong. I was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. I was like, they took another gimmick, another stereotype gimmick. I guess they ran out of rap gimmicks for black wrestlers, so now they're going to give them Sunday service. Okay. This is what we're doing now. So I was like, okay, so we got a whole bunch of TD Jakes now. Let's see. They all about to be. I was like, they all about to be future endeavor out of here this week. This is stupid. And boy, was I wrong. Because they are still. They still selling merch like crazy too. But yeah, New Day, and because of New Day, we found out that Big E actually has good. Can work good on the mic, and we found out also that Kofi can work good on the mic too.
Oh yeah. For sure. And that was the best part. It was when they were getting pushed, and then they finally did the promo. It was where, if you don't clap, I'm gonna snap, and that was like Big E, and I'm like, okay. And then that's when they started making fun of the people. They were already booing, so it's like, oh, then they fed into it. The New Day sucks chant, and they just then the trombone, Francesca the first gets destroyed, and he still has the second trombone.
Remember the story how you met Francesca too, right?
I can't remember off the top of my head. So tell me.
Xavier Woods, I think he was on commentary. He's like, yeah. So the first Francesca died. No thanks. I forgot who destroyed it.
Who broke it? I actually remember that. Yeah.
I think Sheamus might have been when they broke it. I can't fully remember right now, but anyway, he said he was at the funeral of Francesca 1, and then he found out Francesca 2, had a sister, and they got to talking, and he said, "Here we are today."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you know what? I know I want to stay on topic. I mean, not too far, but like I said, just because Xavier Woods, when they finally let him go solo. Xavier Woods reminds me of Chris Jericho when he first got to WWE. How just, actually, I'll take it back. Xavier Woods reminds me of WCW Chris Jericho, just like how obnoxious he can be.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that.
Yeah. Yes, Xavier Woods, all he's listed is the list of 1,004 holds where he names off armbar like 6 times.
I can totally see that. See, the thing with New Day, I had them at number 1. Obviously the greatest black group of all time, but I'm just gonna go hands down of everything. They are the greatest faction of all time. They had. I would die on that hill.
Wait, greater than NWO, greater than DX,
greater than DX.
Okay. Because you said faction. First you said black faction. Now we saying faction.
Well, first I said black faction because we're on the topic of black wrestling.
Okay.
But like,
that's
accolades alone better than NWO. That's longer than NWO. Not more iconic than NWO because of us, but I would say like the generation probably after us more iconic than NWO. They had they've won. I mean, bro, they are even on the WWE website. The WWE themselves rated the WWE, their company rated them the greatest tag team of all time. I would rate them as a faction 3 or more. I would still rate that. They have. I mean, I'm not about to go down there acolytes. We all know about that, man. The longest to do this, have the most. This gimmick should be over by now. I mean, this should be done. It is.
We on 9 years now.
This is 9 years. This is more than This is DX twice. It is. This is DX twice.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Whoa.
DX squared.
Exactly, man. Like, it's for us, nostalgic purposes, Attitude Era, I do understand that, and it kind of seems sacrilegious to say that, but I agree. Like, obviously, greatest black faction, but this is the greatest faction of all time. I would die on that. I'm serious. I would die on that. They have everything, individually and collectively. Yep. You have WWE champs. You have a King of the Ring. They won 7 SmackDown championships, 4 Raw championships. They went down
United
to
States
NXT,
title, title.
They have King of the Ring. They have everything.
2 out of 3 is world champions.
2 out of 3 is world champion, man. The other one got a king. They've won everything. The NWO don't have that. I mean, their main ones, but like that, these 3, like they have individually have done it and done it well. Like this is hands down the greatest black group, the greatest group in the history of this company. Dead.
Hey, I'm with you on that too. So, but let's just because we can't see him, but how about you, Del? What's your opinions on that? Del Cena.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, there's been a lot of great groups, not many groups, but a lot of great groups. They have to be one of the best. Like you said, look at all the accolades. You can't argue with it. I mean, even though you had the Nation of Domination, but you know, you had like Mark Henry and The Rock who were champions out of that group. Mm-hmm. I mean, all of them had held championship. Farouk. But when you look at the body of work that the New Day put together, and again, it was a gimmick that was supposed to fail. You can't go wrong with it. I mean, individually, to get the collectiveness, I mean, those guys, they just done it all. And any one of them can fly solo and do what they want, do what they can do. You know, there's nothing that holds them back from anything.
So I feel like we're all pretty much in agreement with that. I feel. I mean, except the only person that wouldn't be is our acquaintance and friend Josh. He has never been a fan, and we always joke about it too. Like for years, I know for years. Yeah, for years. So for years, he just I hate New Day. So then we're always just like New Day rocks, and he gets them every time. And to let you guys know, when I got married in November, and Sauce was one of my groomsmen, me and my beautiful wife walked out to the New Day theme music. It was awesome. It was so awesome.
So, as far as factions go, I don't know if anybody's gonna. Well, actually, I'll wait till everybody gives their take, and I just want to give.
I mean, yeah. Well,
no, you good.
Yeah,
I got it up on my phone. I was fresh my break, but everybody go ahead.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you right now, just because there's the New Day's great and everything, of course, but with some of these other smaller, like even tag teams, not necessarily the tag teams, and there's factions or whatnot, just kind of roll them in at once. One team though that I just liked so much, was Crime Time. I'm not gonna lie, I liked Crime Time. I thought they were over. Obviously, it kind of comes off a problematic type gimmick, but to me, it's like tweak it slightly, and that's what Street Profits are.
Yeah.
Basically,
that's what I call them. Actually,
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to JTG real quick. For this man, literally was like on FMLA for like 6 years. He's literally
he was like the longest tenured.
The fans literally created a website to just keep track of how long he was employed by WWE. Even though this man had wrestled on regular TV and so long, but somebody kept a track of how long he was still with the company. And I think he made it to almost 8 years before they finally fired him. But yeah, there used to be. I wish I remembered it. I wish they started their website, but yeah, they literally had a tracker, how long JTG still works here.
Oh
my! I guess I've been looking at him. He's been doing this thing in the Indies, so
yeah, he definitely hot in the Indies. I won't be surprised if he come back. But I actually thought about putting Crime Time on my list here, and then I was like that. A couple things came to fruition here, like is it not that many great black worth your top 5? But Crime Time they were hot, man. They were hot. They were white hot, and Crime Time was wild.
Something never won a championship.
It does, man. I think Crime Time was definitely what Street Profits are trying to aspire to be, just cleaned up a little bit better. But the whole stealing shit thing, it's funny, I can see it being problematic, but it's funny. Then they still want Marion Chain. That's funny. But they were faces though. They were a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
I was a fan, man.
Then you had another crowd favorite back in the day. I mean, I don't know if not big, but Men on a Mission.
I was just thinking about them.
Man on a Mission with Mabel that I saw up earlier. So yeah, they were again, it was another gimmick that it worked, a little bit, people, because you got here was the thing too, and this too, is most black wrestlers were always a heel or there weren't many face black wrestlers, and it's okay, Coco Beware was one of the a few faces. You come out there, I'm let's go, I got my bird, let's go, and he there
Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog, yeah.
But like I said, few far in between at the time.
Yeah, so when that happened, it was okay, all right, this is cool. I like seeing that. So, but yeah, that made a mission for that. But Crime Time, I tell you, the one thing Crime Time during that era, you already know what was also during that era. Do-Rag Vince McMahon.
I ain't lying.
Oh my God, yes.
Hey, it is Black History Month for the last it's on my list. I'm not. I don't care how problematic that is. Do-Rag Vince was hot.
Hey, he won the ECW championship with it.
When he came out with the belt, he's just I got my
Do-Rag Vince was hot, man.
Oh my God,
he is on my list. He made it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was
the shirt.
Yeah, right. So it was just look, Crime Time, they were so entertaining. I don't care what anybody says. It comes off a little we don't how you gonna treat them like this, but it's no. At the time, they looked like just rappers you were already in the game, like 50 Cent or someone else.
They look like they'll take your shit for sure. I know somebody look like they gonna take my shit, but I like it. Just tuck it in. That's all this.
Right. I literally, when I looked at them, I thought it was like 50 Cent and like Nelly or something. Like if you kind of looked at him, because he had the grill, you know, and then you had like, you know, and it was Chad Gaspard. He was the big guy, you know. He had JTG, the small guy. You got that, so.
May he rest in peace.
May rest in peace.
One swift one.
Yep, and that one's up there, man.
Actually, I don't know if y'all know, but the God of War you see now, his body build is actually modeled after
Chad Gaspard.
Yeah.
So from the 2018 game, yep.
Yeah.
So what they did was he was like, the body design was all mocapped work from his body design and all his mannerisms. Yep.
No.
So, yep.
That's cool. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it was a very unique thing because you don't hear that often. And then when that game came out, the first one, so yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, and but yeah, so again, rest in peace. He saved his son from a nasty like riptide type situation, and he was a hero to save his child. So yeah, and he won the I believe it was it last year or the year before? He won the Warrior.
2 years, I think it was like 2 years ago. He won the Hogan Award.
The Warrior Award.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I meant to say Warrior.
We're not missing Hogan this year. I mean,
I was just gonna say, don't think Hogan. I'll let Harlem Heat finish that conversation, right, Booker T?
To be fair,
we coming for you too.
I say, to be fair, like say, so the way that Rio remembers Hogan back in the day is way different the way we remember Hogan. Like we was about vibing, saying prayers. His version of Hogan was basically a Justin like asshole.
I hate Hogan. I hate Hogan so much. I hate Hogan. I hate Hogan.
He hates Hogan. He hates Terry.
Oh my god. I hate
and that's
Hogan.
okay. And that's okay.
Like 10, 12 years ago, even then, he hated Hogan so much.
It's only a small handful of things that had changed my opinion on people. But Terry, Hulkster, no. You can go to hell. You can go to hell. I don't get it.
Go to hell with I say go to hell with New Jack.
Yeah, right. He'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on, brother? Let's go." Oh gosh.
I hope he beat his ass with his music playing in hell. He beat his ass from
that'll be his hell loop
with his music
playing.
Man. I actually got another one here that Sauce will remember for sure. But when another wrestler that you gotta, he was so iconic, especially in the Ruthless Aggression era, a little bit after all that. You can't forget Rodney Mack.
Hey, Rodney Mack, baby.
Okay, guys, this is more of a joke. Challenge. This is more of a joke, but so Rodney Mack, obviously, he was there for only a little bit, but two things. One, when he wrestled in OVW in the Indies as his Red Dog gimmick, I did like it. I thought it was like, oh, it's gonna be good. He's gonna be great. Comes up to the main roster, Rodney Mack. Well, that's a stupid name. Okay, cool. I mean, is that your real name? I didn't look that up. Whatever. But yes, the best part is that Teddy Long came out and he was his manager. That right there opened the door for Teddy Long. But yes, the White Boy Challenge, where you would randomly have who was even there? Was it like Colin Delaney or whoever the hell was there?
I just remember the Raw after WrestleMania 17. Yes, Roddy Mack comes out and I see Teddy Long. I'm like, wait, ain't that the black dude who be refereeing?
Yep.
And then they started cutting a promo about White Boy Challenge. I was like, all right.
It's like, play
I'm here for this. I'm here for this. So let's go.
Yeah, it was a very interesting. I'm more as a joke about it, but yeah. So I always joke with people. But two things that also happened. Again, like I mentioned with he had great theme music that then Teddy Long took. The Mac Militant. That was Rodney Mack's theme music.
Fun fact. That is
Teddy Long music now.
Yeah. Fun fact, that was also the theme music of WrestleMania 16, aka 2000. Just want to let y'all know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you ever go back and watch go back and watch WrestleMania 2000 and Teddy Long music is playing.
That's funny.
Yeah,
but,
that was
but a good segue into that though is with Teddy Long. This is talking about a longtime referee that was there for so long, and then I just want to know what happened with that conversation. Like, what made him? Did he go to McMahon and say, "Hey, I want to branch out. I want to be a ref. I want to branch out and do this now"? And then then just kind of blew up from there. I'm curious that conversation that happened because
right.
Well, I can tell you exactly what happened.
All right, hit me with it.
That brother needed a job, and don't fire him. That's how these things go, baby. Keep me on TV. Don't fire me.
Hey, you know what? You keep mouthing off. You're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Well, too, Teddy been around for years. I mean, I remember back in the day when he was managing Harlem, he used to know a family that lived down the street from my grandmother. So I've seen Teddy a couple times, like years and years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's been around wrestling forever. So of course, Vince, when you have somebody like that and you just progress, okay, you know what, we'll take you and you know what to do. Go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh man, that's cool though.
I forgot that that Dale Cena was on here, and I'm like, man, that voice sounds so crystal clear. I was like, is that my conscience talking? What's going on?
Yep. Dale Cena, you're good with us, man. So always. But so yeah, I mean, so was anything else with different wrestlers that for good or for funny moments or something? Like, was there something that popped out of one of you guys' head that was funny?
I brought it up.
Oh yes,
it's probably I think it's Rio's favorite moment. He always brings up about Booker T. I'm gonna let him say it.
Okay.
They were working on Booker T was the king of the ring at this point. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I'll never forget it. Booker T was the king of the ring probably for like a year or two now, but he lived on that King Booker thing. So they were working on a program to bring in Triple H. So King Booker was going around beating anybody named with a king, right? So King Booker, mind you know how King Booker was talking, right? So this thing King Booker. So he started this little thing with Jerry the King Lawler, and then he started this fight over Jerry the King Lawler, but all of his Britishness left. He launched out Jerry the King Lawler, talking to him like a man up the street. Get your punk ass up, Jerome. That shit took me out. Get your punk ass up, Jerome. This man was just British just a second ago. He was just hitting it. He talking to him like he on 7 Mile. Get your punk ass up, Jerome.
Where's your British accent? So you're saying he lost?
Done. I was done.
So are you saying that he lost his accent faster than Halle Berry in the X-Men movie?
Faster than Kofi in his Jamaican accent?
It was just like that, but funnier. He went from King Booker of the Royal Palace to on Harlem and 159th. He just lost it all.
Shout out to Booker T. I got an Shout out to Booker T. I got an uncle named Russell that look just like him too. I always bring it up.
All right, very cool. Very good. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And he hates it. My uncle hates it so much. He said, "I don't like him. I'm pretty."
I'm pretty.
My uncle responds every time.
He's pretty.
My uncle's pretty. Booker T is not. That's my uncle's response every time.
Oh my god! You know, it's always funny, Rio. You bring it up about the breaking of your character, even unintentionally. Like in that case, he probably doesn't expect he reverts back to what he's used to. But that's funny. God, that's funny. I want to look that back up and see if I can find that match or just the match building up to that. But because the King Booker thing was fantastic. It was. He deserved it so much, and then he just. I think me and Sauce talked about this about the different King of the Rings. The only good ones, not counting the older ones, but when they brought it back, was Booker T. The little bit they did with William Regal, and then like Brock Lesnar was good, but that was just a means to an end. That was knowing that he was going to go on to win the world title. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Booker T was the best though. He came out with a carriage like after he won.
He took it to a whole other level.
Yeah, he did. Like I agree. Like Booker T was a phenomenal like king of the ring. That actually, I don't know, might be my favorite gimmick from Booker T. I love the regular Booker T stuff, but this, you gotta understand, this shit was hilarious.
It was
like
so
he
good.
took this man went British, bro.
He went
he's from Harlem, man. He went all in. I'm talking about the accent, the little thingy. Like he went all in. And even his wife, like Queen Charmel, he
well, that was the best part. He could do that with his wife, you know. He was able to do this fun gimmick with her. So that was awesome.
So I got a question, and I don't think we mentioned this about the factions. Do we count the Bloodline in as one of the greatest factions too since this run they've been on? Like with the Usos and Roman, do we count them in this too?
I mean, as far as black factions,
yeah.
Well, because ain't the Usos, is their mom Samoan or is they obviously we know who their dad is, but like is Roman?
I'm not sure on like if they're mixed race, like how The Rock is with a Samoan and the black family. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't.
I know all the Uso kids. I think all the Usos, maybe Romans. I think all their kids have black now.
Yeah,
every one of Rikishi's kids has a black wife. Roman has a black wife. They all like even little Solo. I know
Solo's got a black wife.
I looked at that baby. I'm like, that's your baby. That's your baby.
He was probably 14 pounds when he came out too. Solo Sikoa. I don't know why. I just have this feeling he came out big. So, oh my God, that's funny.
But that's a good question. I know we're talking about with the Black History thing, but like, would you consider or even put up for running or even have the discussion for the New Day, what they've been able to accomplish versus the Bloodline within themselves? It's
a little hard also to like compare a 3-person group to about like more than 4 or 5 people in the group, and regardless of that, the Bloodline have cemented themselves in wrestling now with like as a dominant faction, because for as much people complain like about Roman Reigns for so long, it finally like cemented that he could actually be a good like heel, and people were cheering. I mean, people cheer for him. Like that's like Sauce and Big O. We went to SmackDown like last month, and people were cheering for the Bloodline, cheering for Roman, even though you don't want them to win. But they do.
You won't get me to say anything bad about Roman Reigns. I got so much Roman Reigns shit in this room. I only got this belt.
Listen,
I'm serious. I only got this belt because of Roman. Like, you won't get me to say anything bad about Roman Reigns from any point of his life.
Go ahead. Keep going.
They set him up for success and failure and turned around, thanks God for COVID, and turned around and gave him success again. Because like if they were trying to make him their main guy, that same recipe that they gave to Cena, that shit is not going to work for a Roman Reigns. Like they finally break up the Shield. Everyone got different gimmicks. You put Dean Ambrose and jeans in a wife beater. Seth Rollins was hot right out the gate because of exactly what he did. This man is still living on the same shit that he did, since he got here.
Now.
Yeah, and this is the guy that you're putting the company on, and you're putting him in these back to back main events, putting him in positions to win where I'm not saying where he didn't earn it, but it also felt force fed, like the Royal Rumble shit. He did not need. Right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like
the 15 Rumble. Oh no.
Man, it was terrible. Like but he is that deal. When they gave him an opportunity, before I even saw what he was doing now, I saw some videos because people had said like he can talk, he can cut promos. Well, he was in the OVW when he was back at FCW. I saw it. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm like, What happened? What are they doing now?
Because here's what happened. Vince McMahon writes those damn promos at that time. So everyone bitches about suffering succotash. Yeah, it sucked. It's stupid. But guess what? If anybody else said that, it still they would have booed the shit out of it too. It would have been like,
well, it depends on like if Seth Rollins said suffer succotash, we all laugh.
If he said it now, if he said it now, we like Seth Rollins gimmick works. If he did it as the chicken heel, it wouldn't have worked. Yeah. Seth Rollins could pretty much do anything now. Anything. And he would get over.
No, I was going to say, shout out to, since it's Black History Month, since we're in Michigan, and you mentioned Usos, I said, shout out to Jimmy Uso. That man, he got into, what was that, a few years ago?
Yeah.
He got to that altercation with the cop, and it was History Month in Detroit, and lived to tell about it.
Yeah. Listen. Naomi was in the car, too, just like,
why apparently she forgot to. She forgot to drive.
She should have been driving. Why didn't she just drive?
She should have been driving. Can somebody make me? This is super sidebar. I need the clip of when Seth Rollins hung up on Logan Paul. Bye bye, bitch. I just bye bye.
That was too funny yesterday.
Bye-bye.
Oh, by the way, even though it's Revolution on Sunday for AEW, I definitely have some drip that I'll be wearing for that show, and so you wait and see. It's gonna be Seth Rollins-esque, and no, I don't got those big Astro Boy boots or anything like that. But
I want them boots so damn bad, y'all just don't understand.
When he curb stomps him with the boot, it just looks like a little toy.
I want them boots so damn bad, y'all just don't understand. Y'all just don't understand. I don't even know what to do with them.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my, but yeah, so there's just a lot. There's so much we can talk about with the different groups and the different stuff. And like I said, I brought up Rodney Mack for God's sake. It's like, oh, really? But oh, excuse me about that. I will say, with wrestling and how everything is kind of evolved, and there's the old talent, the current talent, and now you got the new talent, the future. So Rio, since you're right there, and for the black talent that we have now, male, female, whatever, is the future of the WWE. So, and yeah, we are talking about WWE, by the way, guys. Everyone watching, but obviously we know there's AEW. The Acclaimed have been great for the tag team stuff, but just for we're just kind of safe for WWE for right now in wrestling. So,
surprisingly, I only have one WWE guy. I think we could all be on the same page about that. I'm just gonna go ahead and mention him, Montez Ford.
Yeah,
that the trajectory for that man, if not a spark this year, then definitely next year. He is entirely too talented, too gifted to be. I don't want to be held and contained in a tag team, because I think he's great with Hawkins. Like I think he's elevated Hawkins too. Like I don't know how they're going to separate them, or if they even need to separate them. I'm not a big proponent of the heel, the heel turn on your buddy tag team kind of thing. They can kind of, do their separate ways thing. I think that's kind of played out. For me, Montez Ford, he is performing at an extremely high rate, at a high level, and he's ready for a higher form of a rivalry solo. So what he's done in that chamber, what he's done in the chamber, it was, even before the chamber for me really brought it out. I think he's ready to be pushed towards a second tier belt, maybe a U.S. title or an IC kind of thing. We can see what goes on. Maybe with Ashley, would like to see with Gunther, because everything does not match with them, and I think there's so much magic right there. Like he's so athletic, he's so agile, he's so. Pickles calling him the Black Shawn Michaels. Like I can't. But he has it though. Like he has all of it, and reminds me why he does have it. And I guess let's go to the wrestling terms. He has it. He has it. You cannot. It's the writing is on the wall. He's definitely next up.
So just because I already have it here, he definitely made the list. He's made the list here for me. But I already have like 2 or 3 on here, but what's funny about this is I know we have most people might say the same, but Dell, what would your opinion be on that?
Well, I have a few. I do like I'm a huge Montez Ford fan. I have a couple other people that possibly could it's the future. One is besides Montez, Carmelo Hayes will be a good one. Him and Wesley. Wesley is actually pretty good. Believe it or not, those guys are up and coming, and I think they're gonna make a lot of noise. They'll be up there. I do agree with Gunther. Don't be surprised if he's the one to take out Roman Reigns. Hint, hint.
Now, don't get me excited, man. Now I'm excited for seeing something like that. Oh my gosh!
So Gunther,
he goes for like a Superman punch, and he just wham chops him down.
Piss me off.
Rio's already bad.
That'll piss me off.
Yes. You got Bronson Reed. He's another one. He's gonna be pretty good. So those guys, they got a good influxuation of talent. I mean, Austin Theory, we know he's gonna be good as well. So those guys, you're looking at the future right now, and give or take another 4 years, I believe you'll see them at the top of the card.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially with Theory. I think Theory is definitely he's definitely the one who was up next right now, and I think they're working on him at the moment. I saw him. That entire Elimination Chamber match was just a work to get him over and to show everything that they had to get to go over the Cena, not the Cena thing, even the Cena thing coming up, the Cena thing, the Seth thing, everything he had to go over to solidify him as a real wrestler, a real threat, a real future champion of this, with probably a future, and I can see a future world heavyweight universal champion. Like Theory is definitely that guy who can carry everything. He has the look, he has the mic skills. I'm a fan of his. I agree, man. I'm with you.
Okay. So, Big O, what's your thoughts? I mean, if they're the same, that's good too. If you got anything different, that's also good. So, what are your thoughts about that when it comes to like up and coming for the future?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the two that come to mind were already said: Montez Ford, Carmelo Hayes. When you were just talking about Austin Theory, like him and Ford, like I could just see that. Like those two going back and forth, like for years to come, kind of like a Orton Cena thing, like a Stone Cold Rock thing. I could really see that happening. Like they both got it, and so, man, that would just be electrifying. Anyway.
I see what you did.
My goodness,
Did the connection.
Oh yeah. But I want to bring it back just to one person that kind of came before them, kind of paved the way a little bit, if you will. It's a guy, we still see him on TV. He's currently managing Omos. You know what I'm saying? He was
Hey!
You know what I'm saying? And back in 2006, I was in middle school, and when he came on the scene.
Yeah.
Montavious Porter, baby.
Yeah.
MVP, let's go. And I was just kind of looking at his stuff again today, and it was like a documentary I was watching. And I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, this guy had it all too. Like just when he came up, just like he spoke so clear and well on the mic, like he had the charisma in the ring, and just since it is Black History Month, he had the swag to back it up too. And like I was just so upset that he didn't get the push. Like they didn't do more with him. Like personally, because at the time I was still big Rock fan. Like I really wanted him and The Rock just get on the mic and just go back and forth, and then y'all get in the ring. Like man, that would have. I don't know what I would did. It just would have exploded with happiness. But
oh yeah,
like,
gosh, he was so
that's
good.
One thing where I'm just like, man, they just missed it. They just missed it. It was right there. It was right there.
Yeah.
And
my favorite thing with him was it was with Matt Hardy.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was the Matt Hardy thing. That was really entertaining.
It was really good. I mean, they gave him a really good, hefty United States Championship run.
Yeah, I was going to say that he had it for some change.
He had it for a while, close to a year, if I remember correctly. And then he also has been in Elimination Chamber. He's been in Hell in a Cell match. You know, he's done a lot.
Inferno match.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I did.
He was in an Inferno match.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With he was with Kane, right?
Yep.
I think that was the last one. I don't have fact checking right there off the top of my fingertip, but I think that might have been the last Inferno match. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what else he did too that a lot of people don't know that they might not talk about his accomplishment? He was the first New Japan Intercontinental Champion.
Yes, actually, Sauce, you are absolutely right. So when they introduced the IWGP belt Intercontinental Championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling, MVP was the first champion. Yeah, that's crazy. That's very true. Because at that point it was like, oh, okay, I'm here. We're gonna give it to you. I was like, okay. Still wish they had that belt, but they merged the belt with their World Championship a few 3 years ago, I believe, into an ugly ass championship belt. So we're not going to talk about that today.
But yeah, Doc. So SmackDown versus Raw, 2007, 2008.
Oh, there we go.
I would get MVP. I would just spam using the playmaker.
So let's talk about that
let's
talk about that for a second. It might be a nice finisher for a video game, but that literally is one of the worst finishers to do in real life. Now, I'm all about practicality. You have to have a finishing move that literally you could hit anybody with. That move was always
the worst shit. This is the worst shit.
Okay, no, I'm with you on
that. This is the worst shit.
I'm just saying the fact that he's like, he has to hit him down. Now I gotta put my leg on. It's like, oh, we're waiting. And then, I don't know.
The setup is wild.
The setup, correct.
Yeah, the setup is wild. But just get up. You can stand up at the setup is wild for the playmaker. This will go down in history as the worst shit.
Yeah. Not a fan.
Shout out to Tony Yayo. He used to do it at the scene.
But it's like
that's a category for something else. But
oh my gosh. But yeah, give me back to someone do the worm again. Otis, he did the worm for a little bit. Let him do the worm again. He pulled the worm out a couple times.
Yeah. He does every now and then just to piss off his mentor Gable.
Yeah, so but yeah, someone do the worm, that would be like people being like, whoa, where'd that come from? So but yeah, MVP, good choice. I like that. He's doing a great job on the mic and stuff. Unfortunately, look, if anybody could sell Omos, it would be MVP. That's
he certainly sold it Monday night.
He did because unfortunately, we're going to be getting Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
He had me convinced.
You got me convinced that Omos is gonna get squashed in 3 minutes by Brock come Mania.
Oh, don't worry, I'll have some prop bets for that, Sauce. We're definitely gonna have
Pickles.
On that.
Pickles. Did you put Omos on all 20 of them damn? Did you put Omos on the thing?
No.
Strategically?
Yes. I was like, somebody ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna be him.
Oh Lord.
It's like Karen Hogan, bless her heart. She ain't making it.
Oh yeah, no, she's no.
Bless her heart.
Oh my gosh.
No, they what was it? So for mine,
what's wrong with Miss Hogan? I need you to answer
nothing.
the question.
Nothing. I just forgot. I forgot.
I forgot.
What about Velvet?
Huh?
What about Velvet? Velvet, what's her name?
Well,
what Velveteen Dream?
Shit, where he at? I ain't seen him.
Oh, no,
Valentine.
He's too problematic.
Don't let me. We got Akon over here. Oh God.
I was gonna say for me, I guess like
the ref has lost total control. It's just like that. We've lost total control.
My future star, I would say my future star. Can I do two?
Absolutely, Sauce.
Go ahead. Obviously, the first obvious is not actually who y'all. My first obvious is not even who y'all was talking about. Mine is Carmelo Hayes. That's my first. Carmelo Hayes, he gonna be that guy. You know, and then my second. I'm not. I know we've been doing a lot of WWE, but I'm actually going towards AEW. It's not the guy that I always bitch and complain about every week. That's on Dark, not him. The guy that I like to see a future with, I would actually invest in, is Max Caster from the Acclaim.
From the Acclaim, yep.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
They were on the list. They were.
Hey, let's go.
I had a couple. They entirely too talented. Entirely too talented not to work with.
Once he that's a guy in the next couple years. Once we get the unfortunate day where the Acclaim breaks up, it's gonna be a sad day of pro wrestling when it happens.
That will be a sad day.
But Caster, he's definitely gonna be that guy in the next couple of years. And one thing about Mr. Go for Rio down here, if like this man, y'all think I'm a wrestling prophet? This man has prophesied many men to come before and after. And if he co-sign with me on Caster, you listen, just give it
sure.
What we had, I would say 2026. He win a major goal from somebody. I don't know if it's still gonna be AEW or whoever, but yeah, Caster, he gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
So I figured, like when I was going through, like I had like a couple people that I was thinking about. I was like, I know a lot of people gonna do WWE. I was like, is there somebody outside? Is there a black wrestler outside WWE that I would like to invest in the future? Yeah, definitely be him. Because they definitely
the rest of mine.
Huh?
No, go ahead. Finish.
You said you had another one. You said you had another one too.
That was pretty much it. I said Carmelo.
You said Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes. I feel because we've been talking about him for the last couple months, but yeah, I would definitely say Max Caster because Hobbs ain't gonna never leave AEW Dark. So that man's in dark. Is the words of Dre. He's stuck in dark purgatory. So
Powerhouse Hobbs, yeah, because he's got the Book of Hobbs gimmick, and then he's on Dark, so no one's watching.
I can't wait till he leave that company and come to WWE.
Oh yeah,
he'd be a much better force over there, over in WWE.
Even if Vince McMahon was still in charge, Vince McMahon could would book him so much better because he's one of Vince McMahon guy, big beefy boy. I was like, Vince would book that man.
Big beefy man slapping meat.
Meats, baby.
Boom. There we go.
Even if Vince was still in charge, Vince could book Hobbs so much better than Tony Khan. Who, I would say Tony, enjoy that Booker of the Year.
I was just gonna say Booker of the Year, because
next year it definitely ain't gonna be him.
I don't see how, but okay.
Yeah,
trust me. It was a joke. All those the awards for the Wrestling Observer with Meltzer. I saw that and I had to just share it with you guys. I said, this is like who thought, and the worst part about that was Triple H was like third. He was like third.
Well, granted, Triple H didn't get started until July, so
correct. Okay, he did, but come on, even that half was better than what we've seen most of this year for AEW. Yeah. So, that's a whole other thing that we'll talk more about that next week when we have our reaction show to AEW's first show, Revolution. So,
right,
that'll be a fun one. So,
but yeah, I would say those Carmelo Hayes and Max Caster. That's my future right there. Those two guys.
There you go. But Rio, did you say you had something? Another one you wanted to say?
I got a question because I have Swerve Strickland here, but I'm actually up and down with him. Do you think this everyone conversation obviously?
Yeah.
Do you think Swerve will be better suited in WWE now that Triple H?
He would not. Yeah, he would now.
Absolutely now.
Now. Yeah.
Not with Hit Row. No, by himself.
You know,
not Hit Row though.
You know who Swerve Strickland will be right now if he was in WWE? He'd be Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
That's literally what he would be.
That gimmick. You know, it's kind of funny if you think about it. It's pretty much the same gimmick, right?
It's the same gimmick.
Okay. All right. So that works. So
and Swerve had more not street cred, but like he had more
swag. He had more kind of swagger to him. Yeah.
He had more going at the time too.
Yeah.
Because that entire Hit Row thing was built upon Swerve being the center.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't know that they were supposed to be fucking Death Row Records. Like this is the problem I have with the gimmicks of wrestling too, man. I guess we could talk about this too super quick. I know it's not on the breakdown, man, but like these things are like wildly problematic, man. Even in 2021, 2022, man, you gonna make Death Row Records of wrestling? Like that's crazy.
Botch Dollar.
We got Botch Dollar.
But even that hilarious, messed up. But they had to lean into that. You think we're not gonna acknowledge this? Like that made them turn their entire stuff heel. Like because he boxed big all bad guys now.
If you add the letter S to Hit Row, that's exactly what you're gonna get.
I mean, yeah, they're still doing the same things. Like, look at that. Like you're saying about Hit Row doing that. Look at when Akira Tozawa would come out looking like a black ninja. Like he had his ninjas with him, and one of the ninjas was Omos. You know?
I still say that first ninja was Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, he was pretty big. We thought he was too because we were like he was like you saw him, you knew he was black, and we're like. Shaquille's done like wrestling, so that's probably him. And he didn't take his mask off, but apparently it was Omos. So,
that's right up. That is right up Shaq's alley, but they're still leaning into these problematic stereotypes in wrestling, even in this day and age. Yeah. Like everyone who is not a white person, like I love Street Profits, but they're leaning into the street shit too much. I love Hit Row. I don't love Hit Row. I actually don't like Hit Row, but to the Death Row. I got nothing against them, but after I sit here and think about it, I don't really care for them.
Hey, actually, here you go. Only people we can see our face don't like Hit Row. So anybody else we can't see their face, they must love Hit Row. Okay, is that right? Okay. So
I told you how I feel about Hit Row.
Sorry, Del.
But they were Hit Row was hot too, man. Like, yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, Street Profits, it works for Asuka. That's her entire,
Yeah, I think that works for sure.
And even with what's her face, who has like the comic book entrance, like that's the same thing. Even with Shinsuke Nakamura, like everyone, like even with Gunther and like his whole German thing, and their gimmick is, can we say Nazi here? Like they all lean into their stereotypes of their country, and they are still doing this thing that they've done in the 80s, where the bad guys are everyone but white, and maybe some black guys like Bobby Lashley because he was a Marine, so. That counts, but
no, you're absolutely right about that. Because look at the Brawling Brutes, like we're Irish, so we fight and then we drink. So that's what we do, So, and then you're right. Like I mean, throughout all the years, like when I was doing research for this, they were talking about how with Bearcat Wright being technically the first world champion, but only in like in 61, right? And this is when wrestlers were only fighting black wrestlers. They're all segregated, and he was one of the first, not the first, but like there was others in different territories because there was hundreds of territories. He was one of the first to say, "I will not be doing segregated wrestling. I'll fight whoever," and that started the desegregation of. Now, mind you, that was just for wrestling. They're talking about just for like independent wrestling and doing all this, and it got bigger, And
it's crazy to think because my parents were 6 years old. But my parents were 6 years old basically when he won his world champion. That's something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the coolest thing. When I was doing again the research, basically for that in 61, you had Bearcat Wright won this title that it was in Boston, so it was technically a world title there. And then in 63, he won what's called the WWA Championship by World Wrestling Associates, again, referred to as a world championship. He beat Classy Freddie Blassie for it. I mean, at that point, you're like, that's crazy. Then apparently, this is the funnier part of the story, is that apparently he refused to drop the belt legitimately. They were like, okay, so you've had it for a little bit. Now we're going to have you lose it to this person. He wouldn't. He just refused to wrestle. He took the belt and went home. So they had to like strip him of the belt because he refused to, And then, then he wrestled for some more and stuff. But it's still like, that's crazy that that kind of started with that. And then, I don't know, like this. You read that kind of history. It's pretty remarkable, honestly. So, but oh, excuse me. But yeah, and then of course that run ran into Bobo Brazil, and with Bobo Brazil, all the stuff he did, in a sense, like he fought for Bruno Sammartino for the WWF title, didn't win. He fought the Sheik, he fought Killer Kowalski, he fought and won, beat these guys, and then of course. I think I mentioned earlier in the podcast that in 62 he beat Buddy Rogers to become the NWA champion, but they did not recognize it. They refused to recognize him as champion. So, it's still crazy to think that. It really is. So, but yeah, I don't know. Just like you were saying, Rio, continuing through all those years, it was just. If you were a black wrestler, you were a bad guy. It was very rare you ever saw it. And then the strong, very strong ethnicity, stereotypes were the bad guys. The Iron Sheik was bad. The Arab gimmicks were bad. Yep. Abdullah the Butcher. He's a bad. He's also on the nut who's nuts, but he was a bad guy.
He get hepatitis to somebody.
Many people. Yep, Yokozuna, who wasn't even Japanese.
He wasn't even there. He part of bloodline.
Yeah, so our buddy scouting like 5 years, like a couple years ago, he I guess he had just realized or learned that Yokozuna wasn't Japanese. We was like, bruh, like that would have been the darkest Japanese person in Japan.
Right? Oh my gosh. That is, could you even imagine? I wish I was there for that day though, because I would have been like, you actually think that
no, it was me, you, Scout, and it was like right after one of those WrestleManias.
Oh my god! Oh, okay.
And it was doing the Yokozuna thing, and then he was like, I didn't know Yokozuna was Japanese.
Yes, I remember that special they did.
And he was like, I didn't know he wasn't. I was like, bruh, look at him. There's nothing that looks Japanese about his face.
But I'm not gonna lie, I knew. When I got the information, it was later than what it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that.
As a kid, we didn't, we couldn't tell a lot of people who didn't like us apart. But yeah, as an adult, like, bro, Yokozuna, he's clearly not Japanese.
Great Ali. What's his face? What's the dude that won? Wow, tip of my tongue. He won WWE Championship, man. He probably should have won it, but I'm glad that he won it. Jinder Mahal. I love Jinder Mahal.
Yeah. Well, his reign was underrated. I'm just gonna flat out say that.
I think you're right. I right. I agree.
Very underrated reign, and
I agree.
Well, it's interesting how Doc, how he was talking about all these how a lot of wrestlers are the stereotypes and this and that. It's gonna be interesting, like going forward with Triple H, as far as WWE wise, because the NXT, all the black champions. It was everything but stereotype gimmicks. Big E, Big E Langston. Then you had Keith Lee, who's basically just been the same Keith Lee since the Indies. He's been like that. And then I think that's the only two I can think of. Oh, and then obviously you got your, you had the the North Atlantic champions over there, and pretty much all the black wrestlers who won that. They didn't really have stereotypical gimmits. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
They just wrestle.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, like in the future. Obviously, like how they go forward with as far as with future gimmicks or whatever. As far as with regular wrestlers, black wrestlers, and whatnot.
Well, it's interesting because look, if here's the funny thing: if MVP wasn't here, like now. Like that exact same gimmick, that would still work. That would get. It depends on the wrestler if they could get it over, but I think that could work. That same
I think the MVP, yeah,
could work for somebody.
The MVP thing can work. The MVP remind me of like I don't know, like Deion Sanders and
flashy, yeah.
That's what I got from MVP, which is a real thing. Like I got Deion Sanders, I got Michael Irvin. I think that was like the thing.
Deion definitely.
Deion definitely. Like I didn't the MVP thing, which obviously named MVP. Like that one so much wasn't. That was like more attitude. It's like the flashy kind of like wide receiver. I mean, wearing the big chains and stuff like that, doing the balling thing. That made more sense. For me, I wouldn't be so locked into that one as stereotypical, but I mean, just in the future, I don't know. I mean, you're right. I mean, with what you said about the Triple H reign too. I think a lot of these, I don't know how they're going to do it because I like the Gunther thing and like the Imperium thing, like stuff like that. I don't see a problem with that, but I can actually see it being problematic with some people. I love it. I'm still doing everything they doing. I did it with the SmackDown. I love it, but I mean, it's clear, blatant, obvious what they're trying to, you know.
Hey, remember Gunther? Like. Remember Gunther was still a Vince McMahon thing too, because he went from Walter to Gunther. So
correct, but now, but still, the Imperium thing now is basically what he used to do in a sense.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about it. Like
that don't bother me.
You know, I actually got a funny one here. It's more funny than it should be. You guys remember when Becky Lynch debuted in NXT? Wow, what her gimmick was?
She came out like Lucky Charms.
She came out like a leprechaun.
Literally out there doing the Irish jig and everything. Now that one was on Triple H.
That was she did. She came out. It was look it up. They're like you can find it. It's so bad.
Bro, yeah.
I believe Hornswoggle was better than her doing that gimmick. Believe it or not, I will say that right off the bat.
Holy shit! I didn't even realize until you said that how many Irish gimmicks there are, and each one of them are different.
Right?
Yeah, you look at what's the name, Finley, and then like you said, Hornswoggle, Becky Lynch, Sheamus.
Yeah.
So they're pretty stereotypical.
So, who's I can't remember whose favorite wrestler is Sheamus. I can't remember. Do you remember who it was?
You know who it was?
It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know.
It's mine. Too many lies. Too many lies.
Oh my gosh! I actually have a Sheamus figure right up here, somewhere on the top. You can't see it. It's there somewhere. I don't know. So I might take it out of the box and have Sauce, who's very good at pictures with figures and stuff, and like doing these nice little white backdrops. So I might have him take some pictures with it. I think it'd be fun. So
can you take a picture? I just brought this super random. I think he's black too, so happy Black History Month, Bill.
He's a Ray Bill.
Take a picture. He black. I know he had a wrestler, but he black. They can't tell me no different. I need to take a picture of my horse face.
You're thinking like, is he going to bring out Luke Cage? Is he going to bring out whatever? No, he has Beta Ray Bill. But you know what?
Brother Ray Bill.
Brother.
Hey,
I'm looking at you. That's okay. That's okay. We got our brother
Ray Bill.
Oh my gosh! But
so wrestling.
Let me throw one more.
Absolutely, throw it at us. Here, I'm ready. My gosh, there we go.
But so going with the stereotypes thing. So this is like both a black and not black thing. But in the future, we need to go ahead and free up our big men, the big guys out here, the strong guys. Let them do some more things. Let them roam around. Jump off the rope some more. Be a little more athletic. And I'm thinking about kind of the beginning of that, as far as I know, and that was with Mark Henry. And so, I used to love watching Mark Henry come out and just like run through people. And then like little by little, he started kind of doing a little, a few more things. You jump off the ground a little bit, give a little splash.
Yeah.
Jump off this, second rope, give a little splash.
Yeah.
Okay. And seeing that like recently with Elimination Chamber, I think the guy's Bronson Reed, right?
Bronson Reed, yeah.
Yeah, and like seeing him come out and do these things, I'm like, man, I've been missing this. Like, where has this been at? Oh my goodness.
I do like the agile big guy. I do.
Agile.
Like the agile big.
I think Flop Dollar kind of messed it up, but one of the most agile big guys. One of the most agile big guys you'll see is Braun Strowman. He's pretty agile for his size, and he can move around really well.
Yeah, he can.
Just get him out of those skinny jeans though, because I can't stand seeing them in those
skinny camos, jeans. Baby.
Why can't he just wear his camo pants or something? Or even, but the skinny jeans, it's like, where are you going, bro? Come on.
Doesn't Keith Lee? Does he have some top rope moves in his arsenal?
Absolutely, he's a moonsault. Yeah, he moonsaults right off the top. He'll do the middle, and then he'll do the top rope. He can move.
That's how he looks off the top rope. He just.
He actually probably does a pretty good one. He doesn't flop like Lita does. Not Lita. Oh, like when she would do a move, she's like.
I don't.
Oh my god! Have you guys seen Keith Lee now since he's back in AEW? He hasn't dyed his hair and he looks like an old man now. Yeah. He like all his hair is gray, and I'm like, what are we going for right now?
Look like he about to fight Meteor Man. Yeah.
Not a fan of Keith Lee. I didn't like him then. I don't like him now. I don't.
You know what it is with me and Keith Lee? I like, as far as him wrestling working, I dig it. His character, I'm just like, not for me, but I get it. You know, some people, they dig it, but like as a worker, I don't mind him. But when he talks, I'm just like,
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the idea because that was the big crux of him when he was in NXT. Then he went to the main roster and he was hot for that little bit when NXT was like those guys were really hot. Yeah. And it was like the big rumor about him being told to lose weight and not doing it and then being let go and then signed. But then Gunther being basically told the same thing, and Gunther did work his ass off. And it's crazy because he was over as a big guy, Gunther, Walter and other, but now it's like the sky's the limit for him. And Keith Lee is now stuck in AEW and he'll be on Dark soon enough, or he'll be on the Ring of Honor version of it.
You notice how he's gotten bigger?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Every time I see him, he get bigger and bigger.
It's like his wife is Mia Yim. She's in WWE. It's like you would have thought maybe like, hey, we'll get back up there. Triple H was high on me, and we'll be back on the road with my wife. I don't know. That's how I look at it. But
he don't bring nothing to me. Keith Lee does, to me personally, he does not do anything for me at all. But people love him. It's like with the Liv thing. Liv does nothing for me at all. People.
I think for me and Liv is
Liv Morgan. You're talking about Liv Morgan. Yes. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, to me with Liv, as long as she don't have a belt around her waist, I'm good.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Even
then. She's a good worker with other people, and that's why she did the majority of these spots and stuff at the Elimination Chamber. Like they were using her to like beat up on because they kind of give her this like slightly where she likes pain gimmick, which I like that because most wrestling fans are male. Okay, I get your booking on this, but don't give her a belt. I
didn't even pick up on that.
Oh, yeah. Next time you watch him, she's in a submission. They'll zoom in on her face, and she's like smiling. Corey Graves will be like, I can't believe she's smiling. And, real quick tangent. Back to that stupid poll with Meltzer. Corey Graves got worst commentator of the year. Now this shit's got to be rigged, right? Come on. Yeah. Really? He gets worst commentator.
Tell me you don't like WWE without telling me you don't like WWE.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, I'm sorry. That really grind my gears when I seen that. So, but
yeah, that should have went to Chris Jericho.
Oh my god!
Like why? Like I know we getting off subject for Black History Month, but it's like every Friday on Rampage. It's like, Chris, why are you commentating? Like why? Why are you up? Why are you up there? Why are you up there? But that's a rant for a whole nother day. That'd be a rant for Tuesday.
There you go. Oh man, but the Del or Rio, did you guys have any other wrestlers or any kind of like cool story or anything? Anything, just saying because
No, we haven't talked much about it. I guess it's not much of them to speak on, like the black women wrestlers.
Yeah, and I was about to. It was funny. We were talking about some of the women just like now, and Sasha Banks, for example. I was a big fan. I still am a fan. You know, I know she's went to New Japan with her Mercedes Moné. Whatever. I'm not really going to talk about all that, but when she was in, you know, training, went to NXT, did her thing there, had some really good matches, and then she came up to the main roster. Same thing. It's like she would be good half of the month. I know this is how the reason why I mean this is that if you watch her she could have some really great matches about half of a month, and then she'd have very sloppy matches. A lot of people, you know, look at the botched moves and such. Yeah,
I agree. It's like I don't know what it is. You're one when you said that. I totally understood what you meant. Like it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of like really good and really sloppy, or I could tell where you're phoning it in. Like she wears her emotions on her sleeve when she
like Randy Orton.
You could tell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you could tell if she's having a bad day at work, if she's trying to get through the thing, and
or she just don't care about the storyline or the booking.
Or she don't. Yeah, like I mean,
but when she's into it, like the girl, she tears the house down.
She puts everything into it, and it's great. But like you could tell when she's like phoning it in. I agree, man. I agree. Like,
her match, for example, against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, it was fantastic. Amazing. You know, it was the build up to that match was so hyped. You know, and then they put on a very good match.
Well,
but yeah,
it's a couple of women who don't get a lot of credit that needs a lot of credit, which is Jacqueline and Jazz. Even though they didn't have a lot of, you know, high profile matches, but when they were in that ring, they were all about business. So I credit to them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Jazz is like a 4-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
In pro wrestling.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, well first she's a 3-time world champion. 2 with she's got one with I believe one with NWA. She's the NWA Women's Champion, then obviously 2 with WWE. Then she's a 4-time, she's about to be a 4-time champion, Hall of Fame, because she's a Texas Hall of Fame, and then a couple of Women's Federation World Hall of Fame. Then I guess apparently it's rumored that she's going to be in this year's Hall of Fame.
And that'd be great. Do you know another nice factoid is that she's married to Rodney Mack? See, I bring them back up in the show.
And I was looking at a lot of Jazz and stuff, and I'm just piggybacking off of Dale real quick. I'm looking at like her accolades. Basically, it's almost like every wrestling promotion she goes to, she becomes their champion because they just she's that good.
Yeah.
They let's see, wrestling. I'm gonna just look at.
Well, they were just lucky ECW didn't have a women's title. She would have easily been champion when she debuted there in ECW. And I remember like when they got bought and every stuff, I was like, oh, they should bring her up. Since they're like at that point we're rebuilding that women's division, and then when they did, I was like, "Oh, here we go! Now we're gonna get some like Victoria, Mickie James, Trish Stratus, and then they put on some good matches." So
they had, because I'm looking at her. What's her name? And she's got actually, I take it back. She's actually about to be a 5-time Hall of Famer. They have a women's. They just have like a women's wrestling Hall of Fame, and she's basically, about to be in that. That's the one that she's about to be in, not the WWE one. But just women's wrestling Hall of Fame in general. Well, I'm just looking like every promotion she goes to, she ends up winning their championship. Like you look at like NWA, won championship there. Some promotion called Heavy on Wrestling, won championship there. And then at one point, about 10 years ago, she was pro wrestling. Mind you, at this point in her career, in 2012, she was ranked number 13 of the 50 best female singles wrestlers at the time. In 2012, awesome. As far as in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, not Stupid Melzer. And then she goes to Southwest Wrestling Entertainment, comes champion there. And then Women's Superstars Uncensored. I looked that up because I thought that was something else. It's clearly not what I thought it was, but She apparently she was in the Hall of Fame there, and she won gold there. Then women's extreme wrestling won a championship there. So like pretty much everywhere she goes, she finds success. Like she walks into a wrestling promotion, you know, and the promoter's already like it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. She's basically going to represent their company as far as the women's side. So that's why
she'll whoop your ass too. You know what? She will knock you out.
Well, that's why I made sure on that thumbnail. I definitely want to make sure she stood out.
Yep. That was what was the first thing I said to you, Sauce, when I saw the thumbnail? I was like, Jazz is up there on top. That was nice.
Because at first it was originally on that thumbnail. It was Awesome Kong, and then I forgot to remember Jazz. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. For
sure, yeah. But Dell did bring up a good point with Jacqueline, because you got to remember she was like the first women's, like black women's champion, and she reignited in a sense the women's championship division. Like she beat Sable for the belt. Sable was that did whatever. That wasn't. It was when Jacqueline won the belt that then. They're like, hey, let's do this women's division again, you know. So,
you know, with Trish Stratus, Lita.
Yep.
Then you had. I'm trying to think of who else.
Well, Mickie James came in there, like in Victoria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I actually just watched that. I watched for Elimination Chamber. I watched the first Elimination Chamber, and one of the matches was Trish Stratus hardcore match against Victoria, and Victoria won. Like she beat her for the title with like a snap suplex. It was very weird. It was a very weird finish.
They ain't the lady to mess with. What?
Yep. Well, what's funny about that is that was her music after she had all the things she said,
I remember that. I remember that.
So the crazy gimmick or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. That's good you brought that up about the women's wrestlers, because like I said, I'm like looking at myself like, oh man. But there's so much we did homework. See, let's do our list of homework and stuff. But I
homework pickles.
Oh yeah.
Hey. I was writing my notes on my notepad on my iPhone, and I finished it up on my MacBook.
Every time I try to do notes on my phone, I'll do it, and all of a sudden I accidentally erase something. And I'm just like, I'm done. I give me my physical paper. I'm writing my stuff because I like my physical.
Physical paper. Don't feel ashamed, bro. Do not feel
ashamed. Yeah, see, Sauce.
Don't let these kids tell you
nothing wrong with that.
I'm never around paper. I'm never around paper, so
never got paper.
Plus, writing makes my hand hurt now. Like. The carpal tunnel on these ashy hands.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! But I think we've had a very good conversation between all of us in regard to like everything here, all the different like wrestlers throughout the years, funny stories, the bizarre stories, the very weird ones. And also I think we all learned something new, which is always nice, because we got people watch wrestling for all different years with with Dell, and then. Me and Sauce, and then Rio, then Owen. We've all these different years, so yeah, it's always good to have good information when it comes to that. Yeah. But usually at this time with our podcast, we do what's called the Heat of the Week, something that's we like during this past week in wrestling. Doesn't matter if it's a wrestler, a promo, an organization, or something, but something that we liked and we thought stood out. So I'm going to have to throw it over to Big O, all the way over to Big O.
Okay.
What would you say? There we go. Yep. There we go.
Oh yeah. For me, let's see. I'm gonna go back to Monday Night Raw last night, and the return of Trish Stratus, helping out, Lita, and helping out Becky. Get the tag team championships. And I'm just kind of glad that Damage Control doesn't have those belts anymore. I mean, I really am. Like, now we can kind of hopefully get this thing going again. Get some use out of these.
It was really nice. It was very nice seeing her again. But they're obviously setting up for a 6-woman tag match. For WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. That's basically what they're setting up for. And I don't know what I feel about that, honestly, because that just means the belts are not going to be defended. It's because, you're not 6-woman tag match. And then you have two. It's nice seeing the legends come back, but then there's 2 legends that are taking up spots on a card that don't need to be. See, Rio, I feel like, he's feeling me a little bit on that. So
I don't know how. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I love the fact that Lita came back. I love Lita. I think she has some of the best theme music of all time.
Oh yeah.
It's something about because, man, I think a couple steps ahead. Like, it's because they have to lose it. Like, she's not full time. Like, and I'm actually going to go on record right now and say they will have those belts back before WrestleMania.
Okay. And they easily could, because you got to remember who else is trying to get them is Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. They're going to be scouring around to try to get those belts, because I think they're trying to set that up as well.
And if they do, and basically the way that Lita and Becky going to lose those belts, they'll probably lose them to Shayna Baszler and the other chick that works with her. The way they're going to lose it is that somehow Damage Control is going to have something to do with them losing the belts.
So you're saying the 6-woman match will be no belts at all. They won't have any belts.
Yeah, that's why I'm under there.
I think that actually makes the most sense. I think that makes the most sense, because then you don't have to worry about the belts there. Just have the.
They'll be defended, because you'll have Botch Rousey and Baszler. They'll put them on the line or whatever, because you got to have Ronda there for some reason as an attraction.
Yeah,
so.
Ronda's got to be there regardless. It's like probably under contract too. So, but regardless, that's not this past week, and but with Trish coming back, that was a nice pop there, nice seeing her and everything. So that was cool. So I hear you, man. Excuse me. So we're gonna we'll just stay on the top here. I'm poking Dell here. He can't. There we go. We're all poking him.
Del Cena.
Okay, you can't see me. My heat of the week is the promos between Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. Those have been great. The segments are very compelling and interesting. Even the ones with Cody and Paul Heyman. So I think those promos have been very, very good. And it gives you like, okay, what's going to happen with Jay? That has been very good with Sammy, and that they're keeping that whole thing going. It's been very entertaining.
I would have to agree with you for sure, because they're in a rock and a hard place. They have to try to quell this crowd for Sammy chants, but Cody Rhodes has been doing a great job, and also one of the best people on the mic, manager-wise, Paul Heyman. So they've done a very good job quelling this crowd to stop hijacking them to, because if Cody comes out and they're just chanting for Sammy the whole time, then it's like, look, they still like him, but so
it's the Daniel Bryan problem.
Oh yeah, for sure. The yes movement.
I don't want to call it a problem, because it was amazing, but I was there for WrestleMania 28, and WrestleMania 28, when they started that shit in WrestleMania 28. All that yes stuff, and then it all leading into him like that. Those people, that entire, it's like, I shit you not, even though it wasn't Miami, he wasn't, because he beat Sheamus in like a few seconds, but all those 60, 70 some thousand people there, they were going crazy for Daniel Bryan, and then all of that leading into him to, WrestleMania 30, where he went on to, win when he got the win. But that it's the crowd hijacking the show. I'm back and forth with that, because I tend to believe that the crowd is usually right, but at the same time, when you're in a position like this where they it's hard to wrap up this bloodline. I don't say wrap it up, but like turn your focus into this Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns thing, which is still compelling. And I love me some Roman Reigns. Don't get me wrong, but I got some unfinished business to do. I gotta take Cody out of the way. I got to. My story with Cody is this.
15 years of running.
Man, I was in this corner
16 years
by myself. I told y'all since he did this. But my point is, like, the Sami Zayn stuff is amazing too. Like, but Sami Zayn is the new Daniel Bryan-ish. Yep. And I'm under the impression, like, this Bloodline thing is the hottest storyline in years. Like, I can't think of a hottest storyline in the past.
Since Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Probably since Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan. Yeah. And look what happened.
No, actually, I take it back before that. I'll say the hottest last one was Kofi Mania.
Kofi Mania.
Nah, that was huge. It wasn't this hot. Well, hotter than this. No, I don't think.
No! I think he was just saying like because you had Daniel Bryan and then you had Kofi and then you had that. Yeah. So no, this because of the whole thing is definitely a bigger thing. I think it's the collective group.
Cable again. I had to buy cable again to see what's happening. I'm serious, bro. Like I could. This is so my family who does not watch wrestling like this. Everyone's into it. Like everyone, that's how hot it is, man. Like we need to know everyone who's not even into wrestling. They be like, I watch wrestling the other day. Yeah, I've heard them have conversations, not even with me, with each other, not with me. These people who don't like wrestling have conversations about wrestling with each other. I'm like that. That's crazy to me. That is wild to me, and that shows like. This is grabbing everyone in, man, and plus with everything that Roman Reigns had, like this 900-day kind of thing, they should let him win, but they should let him win. I don't know. Cena's right. Like this is white hot, man, and I don't know. I really don't know. This is. I don't know what they're going to do. The hijacking shit. Yeah. I'm not with it, but I don't know if they'll turn this into a triple threat. I really don't know. It's all over the place, man. Yes.
Well, since you have a very good opinion on what we're talking about, it's actually your pick now, Rio, for your Heat of the Week for this past week in wrestling.
Surprisingly, it's not the Bloodline. It's actually Seth Rollins, The Miz, and Logan Paul.
Yes.
It's funny, man. Like, and they've been building this for. We've been doing this for. I thought it was an actual shoot that, but I figured since it's that kind of season that they were going to go on to take this to WrestleMania. But like, it's the Logan Paul the Logan Paul interactions with Joker Rollins has been entertaining, man. Like it's been wildly entertaining to me, and I love the Bloodline stuff. But I like this too. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. I'm really entertained, and Logan Paul could wrestle his ass off.
Yeah, me and Scott talked about that for weeks, actually. For
the Buckshot Lariat to Adam Page.
Oh yeah,
he can really go.
The Buckshot Lariat. Yeah, we were just saying that the Buckshot Lariat. I own it now. Adam Page, you don't know. Nope, you can't do it anymore. Oh my gosh! But yeah,
he can really go, and I don't know how I feel about that because I don't want them in my world, but. But I don't want these. I don't want. My kid is like, look, that's Logan Paul. Like, I fucking care. But like, he's here and he's in my world, but he's wrestling, man. Like he don't. I mean, obviously, he's not gonna take on a full time schedule, but like his spots are amazing. He can wrestle.
Yep.
I don't hate it, and that's my Heat of the Week. I thought like their interactions, the bye bitch. That's here.
Literally, he could come out. I jokingly said, did I say that to you, Sauce? About I jokingly said that he'll come out in WrestleMania in like a Gundam inspired outfit, like jacket, like where he could like he'll unzip it and like he's transforming out of a jacket or something. I could see it. I don't know. Or he could make anything work. So, but with that being said, Sauce, what would you have to say though is your Heat of the Week?
Well, let's see. It's Black History Month. We're talking about black wrestlers. We're talking about black excellence. And my Heat of the Week is the current NWA champion, Tyrus.
Yep.
Y'all might know him as Brodus Clay.
The former Brodus Clay. Tyrus is the current NWA heavyweight champion. Yep.
Yeah. So that's just my Heat of the Week. Nothing really major. No, nothing really huge behind that. It's just Black History Month. Let's say we do. Let's say there's a black guy who's a champion right now. Let's say I'm gonna give it to Tyrus. That'll probably be the second and last time I mention Tyrus and Heat of the Week in the same sentence.
Oh yeah, that's never gonna happen again. I'm pretty sure. No. Oh my god.
Even if he wins it again, loses and wins it again,
no. Oh yeah, no, that's. Oh Lord. Oh boy, it looks like it's my choice here at this point, and there's a lot of stuff, basically a lot of things you guys have already mentioned, the promos and stuff here. The Seth Rollins stuff's been great. Pretty much everything. I guess what I'm going to say Heat of the Week right now, because one thing I hate, but unfortunately we talk about a lot because with news and rumors and stuff, is these damn dirt sheets, right? How half the stuff they say, more of it's not real, but gets people all riled up. Now, apparently in the dirt sheets, they're saying that Triple H wants smaller WrestleMania shows for these dual nights, which it makes you wonder, but if you're going to make the show smaller, you don't need 2 nights now. The only reason you went to 2 nights, mainly, really it was because of COVID, but the show already was so long. I mean, the show would end at 2 o'clock in the morning, start at 6, end at 2, because you had 14 matches on it. Because the idea, you want to get as much talent on there to wrestle. Battle royals here and there. Well, the news this news is been leaking that people are not happy. The wrestlers aren't happy that they're going to have a smaller show. They're not going to do battle royals, which, by the way, they haven't done a battle royal and Andre one on WrestleMania in 2 years. So no.
Don't they do that at the Crown Jewel?
No. So they used to do the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania. It was always at WrestleMania, but then they relegated it to the pre-show. The past 2 years, it was on the Go Home SmackDown show. They put it on. So it's yep. Yeah, so that's how because look, they don't care. I'd rather you bring back a gimmick battle royal from back in the day. Now that was fun. Where you had all the people with these Iron Sheik was in there, barely could move, and he won. Didn't even do anything. The Goon, what I'm saying? Make it fun. No one cares about the Andre the Giant battle royal. No one cares, but people care about being on the show. A ladder match that's got 5-6 people for I don't know the Intercontinental title. That'd be cool. With your top talent, that would be hot.
I'll be with that. Yeah.
But my point is, my Heat of the Week is Triple H, and I know he can make this card good. I know a lot of people are already complaining about the Omos and Brock Lesnar. Vince must be in charge. No, guys, calm down. No, I have faith in Triple H. The show is going to be good and entertaining. There are really more wrestlers.
Any faith in that?
You don't have faith in that?
The match. I'm talking about the Triple H and not Triple H, the Brock Lesnar. And
no. That match is gonna be a dumpster fire. I was just saying the show.
I don't know what the fuck you see.
No. That match will be a dumpster fire, but it's gonna make Lesnar look good because he's gonna squash Omos, and then we'll see at that point. But no. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. I know. Could you imagine? Yeah. Oh. He picks up, slams it down, and pins him. Everyone will be like, "What just happened?"
But here's the thing too. I feel Brock. I mean, I guess it will be something to see, but I feel like Brock Lesnar does not need to do some sort of feats of strength like that. You're Brock you're Thanos of the WWE. You have nothing else to prove. We just go watch you suplex this 430-pound man 14 times and then F5 him twice so you can win it in 40 seconds. Well, I actually, after I said that out loud, I want to see that now.
Now he wants to see it. I will tell you right now, that match will be the second match on the night 1 because it's not going to be the first match because you want something that's actually entertaining. It'll be the second match, and then he'll win or whatever, and then he'll leave. Because that's what he did when he fought Seth Rollins for the Universal title. Opening match, and then he left right after because he didn't want to stay. He's like, I'm not staying. So, yeah.
It just hit me.
What's up?
Roman Reigns is going to fight. It just hit me. Roman Reigns is going to fight both nights.
We've been saying that for the last few months.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, it just in me, but that's the.
I said night one, I said night one, Sammy and KO in the triple threat, and then night two, Cody.
Yeah,
for two different belts.
That's what makes.
Oh yeah, sense. Cody will get the WWE belt, and then Sammy or KO will get the Universal belt.
Yeah, because at this point, the Universal belt technically has got more because he's held it longer. He only got the WWE title last WrestleMania from Lesnar, but he's held on to the Universal for like two years. So, but yeah, he's literally past 900 days. But here's the big kicker, guys. Before we go, think about this. He passed 900 days. To get past 1,000, it's like a month and a half after WrestleMania. So, are they gonna not let him get to 1,000, or is he gonna win and piss everyone off except for Rio? They're gonna piss everyone off except for.
I'm gonna be so damn happy. I don't understand. Like I'm not mad at that. He has to keep winning at least to 1,000. You got this far. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
What's that? 2 months after that? Like 3 months?
I think so. Yeah. So, oh yeah, in Detroit, baby, in Detroit. Yep.
I'll be in that mud front and center, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's like, wait a minute. I don't know what we got here. What's up?
Let's go, baby. We all in, baby. Oh yeah. We all in, baby. Come on. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
All in, baby.
Yeah. We got it. Now you know that we've lost all control. We've lost all control. But that's okay. I can tell you right now, this is probably one of my favorite podcasts with you guys. I'm very happy all you guys came on. And I'm going to give you guys a round of applause because honestly, me and Sauce can sit here and talk all the time, but I can't do it without you guys, all of you guys that come out here. Sauce, I just sit here and talk. I can just talk. That's me.
Spoiler update. Next year's February podcast is going to be called The Cookout.
I like it.
I'm gonna wear like a 5-foot kufi on my head. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. Oh, it's gonna be terrible. I can't wait.
Oh my god.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I like it. I like
That's
it.
a good idea.
Doc, you ready to close us out?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, for everyone, just thanks for watching as always. And just where, like I said, every week we're doing this at 8:30 on Tuesdays on the Mafia Sports Report, and now we're into the roads to WrestleMania, of course. But this Sunday we do have AEW Revolution, first show of the year for them. And then next week we will be covering basically if that show was good or was a shit show. Which it's going to be a little bit of both. I think we'll see. It might be, it'll be okay. But we'll be covering all of that, and then a little bit more building up to the WrestleMania. So, but as always, I'm Dr. Love, and then of course we've got the mayor of Downriver, Sauce Bronson.
Light skinned man with the ashy hands, baby.
I know. Trust me, Rio. We the pointing happens all the time. Well, we'll get it one day, But then
is reverse.
I know it is. It's like
I got it on the first try, baby.
You got it on the first try. Then of course we got Del here, Del Cena, and then
you can't see me.
And then Big O, we got Big O here in the house, and then of course we got
my AirPod died.
Got Rio.
We got to go for Rio. Hey, listen, real quick before we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm serious.
My AirPod died. So.
Oh. What's up, Sauce? What you got?
Y'all, we got 5 people here, even the one that's invisible. 5-way scissors.
Here we go. Yep. So get into it.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
On that note, listen, everyone, all rest fans, y'all have a good night, and most importantly, Be safe and be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me talk. Well, I talk to him.